Hello and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline, and my today's guest is Henrik Hillerstrom. And I'm so happy that he said yes to our interview. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you, Caroline. Thank you for inviting me.
I'm happy and inspired already because we've known each other in person, but I will
Yes,
tell the audience about this later. I would like to introduce you first, of course. Yes. Okay.
yes,
So you grew out of a childhood spent in international Geneva, raised among friends whose parents came from every corner of the world, and you have since lived in 9 countries, most recently Lisbon, where we actually met in person. You are
yeah.
the author of the Gruta series, stories born from a lifelong fascination with what lies hidden beneath the surface of ordinary life. And you have just made your next move, this time to France. Welcome to the Inspired Podcast. Wow, Henrik Hillerstrom.
Thank you very much, Caroline.
This is you. Yes, I'm inspired by your presence and by your book series as well. I started reading the first, how do you call this? First volume. Yes.
Yes, the first volume in English, exactly.
In
Yeah,
English.
there
Yes.
will be at least 4 volumes in the Gruta series.
Oh, it's so great. We would like to know more about that. So, my first question for you is you grew up in Geneva, surrounded by children whose parents came from everywhere in the world. How
Yeah.
did that shape the way you see people and the stories you feel compelled to tell?
I think it's a very different upbringing than the one my parents had, where they grew both up in Sweden with like mostly Swedish. Nowadays, it has changed in Sweden with a lot more immigration, but back then it was very different, and the tendency to be more racist was much bigger for them. But I grew up, I had people from 5 continents, all ethnicities in my class at school in Geneva. So, I mean, racism was almost not possible. We were all friends. And back then I didn't realize all that. But in hindsight, yes, I realize what a blessing it was to be among people with very different worldviews and having friends from all over the world.
Yes, it's an opening, it opens our mind, and it was normal for you.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so Geneva is unique in not in the world, but in Switzerland. Now Zurich is much more international as well, but Geneva has been, especially I think, since the UN started there. And before the UN, there was the League of Nations in Geneva after World War One. So from the 1920s onwards, there has been an international community, and it has been much more international city than most other cities.
I see. So thank you for explaining this to us. My next question for you is the Gruta series grew out of your childhood. What was the moment you realized that experience was a book waiting to be written?
Oh, that's a good question. Actually, a friend of mine recommended I see. He had been to see a medium, and I went to see the same medium. I liked her very much, and she, in the work we did, she exposed a huge, beautiful but empty book. And back then, I don't remember exactly when this was. It was around maybe 2005 or something. And yeah, then I didn't think much of it. And then back in end of 2010, I'd finished a job that I didn't like, and I thought, yeah, what do I do next? What do I really love to do? And then for some reason, this story came up, and I started to write, and I continued to write. And within 6 months, I had written the first draft of the Grutas. So now I've written 3.5 volumes. The first volume is published, of course, with many changes, because the first draft was 15 years ago. And yes, I don't think there was one moment, but there were like hints, but you only see them in hindsight. That's the tricky thing with life. And one other thing, how come I chose to make a typewriting course back when I was just 18 years old? That has served me very well.
Yes, I see. And what you said is very important about connecting the dots backwards. It's in other words, but what Steve Jobs pointed out, we cannot connect the dots looking forward. So we
No.
understand later, right?
Yes.
What happened.
Exactly. Yes.
I love it. Yeah, because we just trust. You talked about a medium you went to with an empty book, and now you understand what message this was.
Now I perfectly understand the message. Yes.
You got the message, you acted on it, and now you can touch it physically. The first book is published.
Exactly. And now the French version is, in the last 2 months, I worked on the translation. So I've translated the book myself into French, which is important because the first 3 books are the headquarters of my heroes are, the headquarters is in Geneva. Because I grew up there, I felt inspired to set the main scene there. But there are scenes on 5 different continents. So my characters love to travel like I do.
I see. Yes, we have something in common for sure, also languages. So my next question for you is, you have lived in 9 countries. Which one changed you the most, and how does that show up in your writing?
Ooh. That's a tricky question. Which place changed me most? It's a bit difficult to answer that because I spent 30 years in Switzerland, and Switzerland obviously changed me a lot, especially due to the fact that I spent of those 30 years, 20 in the French part and 10 in the German part of Switzerland. But then every place I've lived in has brought me something new. And just like a few days ago, so I moved to France, so I live in southern France. I moved here 3 weeks ago, a bit more. And I discovered I may have a talent for pétanque. I don't know if you know pétanque,
Yes.
the bowl game with these heavy steel balls. And yeah, it's not easy. You need precision and concentration, but somehow I've played now twice with people who are really serious about it. So a real pétanque club, so not just Sunday tourists. And I'm not at the level of the best ones yet, but I can already compete. and then I tried to think, wait, how come? And maybe it's like Julio Iglesias, who had a car accident, and a nurse put a guitar in his hands, and he noticed, well, that's for me. So now I'm not planning to become a professional pétanque player, but I needed a hobby. I had been lacking a nice hobby, and that gives social connection as well. And pétanque is just perfect for that, and very much French, and from southern France especially. So I look forward to play more. So that's already what this place has brought me. And yeah, so each place brings different things. And when I lived in New Zealand, I learned about Maori culture. When I lived in Australia, I learned about Aboriginal culture, and all that is reflected in my books. You will see. So there are a few exceptions, but most of the chapters, at least of the first 3 books, are set in places where I have been, and I know the places fairly well.
Wow. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you for inspiring us today. Also, the little game you play, you
Yes.
discovered. Yes, pétanque.
Yeah.
I
Pétanque.
remember.
Yes.
Normally you say boule.
Yeah, I'm not sure
There's a
the
difference.
difference between boule and pétanque. Boule may be more the recreational, or I don't know. I'm not sure. No, you say pétanque even for fun. I'm not 100% sure. I will ask that. But yeah, there's one thing, and that's unique to my view of things and my research. When I said pétanque, and I'm not totally surprised, because pétanque starts with PET, and so does my middle name, Petter. So my middle name starts with PET as well, and that rhymes. So my theory is, and I've observed many cases, and I live in a place that starts with HE, like my first name, Henrik. So that's not a total coincidence.
Yes.
It was a bit luck that I found it, but yeah. But the trick is there are many places that start with the same letters as our names, but which one should we move to? So in my first 5 years, I lived in Helsingborg in Sweden, which also starts with HE. But 2 years ago, I moved back to Sweden and tried to move there, but it didn't fit at all. And I could move to Heidelberg in Germany, for example, or to Hessen. But I've ended up in the Département Hérault, which starts with HE, and a small village called Erepian, also starting with HE.
Wow, this is so inspirational. I was immediately thinking about Helsinki.
Yeah, that's another one. But they speak a little bit of Swedish, so that would help. But my Finnish is non-existent, and and even in southern Sweden, the climate is too cold. So I think I spent 8 years in New Zealand and Australia, so I'm used to milder winters, and that's why I chose southern France and not northern France. It's a bit hot in summer, but in the winters are more bearable, I expect. We'll see.
Yes, you will see. And also I have to add Helvetia, you call Switzerland,
Yes,
right?
yeah, exactly. But
But
there's a big but. Helvete, like Helvetia, means hell in Swedish. So for a Swede, it could be not heaven but hell. So it's a bit tricky. But Helvetia, you are totally correct. Yes.
yeah.
But it's not just the name of the country. There are more. I spent a lot of time and enjoyed the vieille ville, so the old town of Geneva, where I wrote the first draft in 2011, the first draft of the Grooters. And vieille ville has double ILLE, like in my last name Hillerstrom, you have 4 letters. So I have 4 letters rhyming with double in that part of Geneva. So that was quite powerful and drew me to that place. So even when I was a teenager, I was drawn to go and party in the vieille ville and not in other neighborhoods of Geneva. And I've seen people who had their first name rhyming with the street on which they lived, things like that. It's quite amazing when you open your eyes, as I suggest in chapter 14 of my book.
Oh, wow. I'm looking forward to chapter 14. Yes.
Yeah.
So, my next question for you is, of course, I have another question. What do you want a reader to feel when they close the last page of a Grutas book? And has that intention changed since you first started writing?
That's a very good question. It has probably changed a little. When I started to write, I just wrote what I felt inspired to write. I didn't think about the marketing and selling and how the books could benefit readers. But I thought much more about that lately. And one thing is that, so in the first 3 books, I'm describing 18 so-called dream words, which are words that where we don't have all our daily problems we have in this dimension, but where all those problems are solved and we can truly enjoy life. But one person's heaven can be another person's hell. So not everyone wants the same kind of dream word. And that's why I suggest I have 18 of them, and there will be more in books 4 and 5. So it's like a catalog where people can pick they can pick small ideas, and they can pick what they want, like in the life partner. They can pick environments they like. They can pick how they will live, all those kinds of things. So most books you read and then you close it and that's it. No, I want the first read to be like the fiction read. And then if people feel inspired by it, because there are so many details, so you may need to reread at least a few sections of the books. You may want to reread them for inspiration for your own life. So I don't know the lives of all my readers, but some chapters will appeal more to others. So they have to keep that in mind when they read. But there are a few blank pages at the end of chapters where I suggest people take the book again, and then they read it maybe more slowly, or just they reread a few chapters they like, and then they take notes. They can take notes otherwhere as well, but there are a few, maybe in total 10 blank pages in the book where they can take notes and underline and use it as a workbook, actually, which is something new. So I'm trying to blend fiction and non-fiction and education, and I don't know. We will see. It's still it's an experiment. Let's put it like that.
Yes, I understand, and I love the idea. It sounds interactive, and also when you said you combine this, the people or the readers are in the dream world, and then they get encouraged to write something down. They thought their thoughts, and then it materializes on paper.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then there are also, so what is a bit different with the Grutus compared to other books is that I have a soundtrack. So I've chosen 22 songs for the first book, and that will be approximately the same for the other volumes. So there are 22 songs that come along with the book. So on average, 1 per chapter, a bit more than one song per chapter. And these songs are chosen for different reasons that I explain in a bonus document that I call soundtrack notes. And then I also have a visual companion, which is 60 AI generated images of scenes in the books, characters, etc. So when people sign up on the website, on my website, thegrooters.com, they can get the 50 first pages as a reading sample plus the 2 bonuses. So I want to make it a much more multimedia interactive experience than just ink on paper.
Yes, that makes sense. And you mentioned it because this would be one of my next questions also, where can we find you? So you mentioned your homepage, and also where can people connect to you if they want to reach out to you after listening to this episode?
Yeah, to reach out to me, the best is my email address that is on my website, so thegrooters.com. And my book is available on Amazon worldwide, and you can order it at I think it's 45,000 bookshops in the world. So most bookshops will be able to order it. So either you tell them the ISBN number that you will find on the website. So thegrooters.com/book1, or you just say Grooters or my name, Henrik Hillerstrom, to the people in the bookshop, and they will be able to look it up in the system.
Perfect. Of course, I will put the links in the show notes as well, so people can click immediately on the link to your website, or also to the, I always put the Amazon link in the show notes. Yes, perfect. So I have one last question for you. Let's see if, okay, you recently left Lisbon for France. We talked about that. What does Portugal leave behind in you as a writer, and what are you carrying into this next chapter?
Okay, I've heard of other writers. I won't name them, but no, I will name. J.K. Rowling also lived in Portugal for a while. I don't know if you knew that, but she was actually very inspired. She got inspired by a local tradition of teenagers there, which I discovered, where they play games and they dress like they dress in the Harry Potter series. So I guess there's something, I can't put my finger on it, but there's something with Portugal that boosts people. I don't know how to say it, but for me it's where I managed to publish my first book. So there was an energy that helped me move forward. I think it may not have been only Portugal, it's also the timing with AI. So without AI, I would not have been able to publish it. It's not only that I've been able to publish it, but I've been able to publish my book very nicely. So I've added 18 nice illustrations inside the book, and I've done these AI images in the visual companion. All that stuff I wouldn't have been able to do without AI, and also proofreading, because English is not my mother tongue. AI caught many errors. I literally translated some expressions from French, which is my main language, and that didn't go was not 100% correct in English. And then it helped me with the translation of the book into French as well. So, but I still had to review it line by line. but the heavy lifting was done by AI. It's amazing. And my message to everyone actually who haven't already found their path is, if you have an idea or a dream or anything, start by brainstorming ideas with AI and then start building slowly towards that dream with the help of AI. AI can help with like almost anything. Yeah.
What a great message. Thank you so much. I would say, or I would call Lisbon, especially as a creativity hub. It's so inspirational. I feel it too. And as you
Yes.
named it, once you are here, many projects are born and realized.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So So every place I've lived at, I think around 50 addresses in my life, 9 countries, as you said. Now I'm looking for a place to settle long term. But every place has positive and less positive things. And we need to try and remember what we really liked with a place and see if we can keep that positive thing in the next place, and then shed some of the negative aspects. And I've managed to do that in my move, because I lived like 30 meters next to a motorway when I lived in Lisbon, so that was not optimal. It was probably a sign that it was just temporary.
It was a sign to move, to use the motorway.
Exactly. So it was actually, because it was so bad, because I'm very sensitive to noise. That was actually a very powerful, like, kick in the butt, so to say, to publish my book and find a way to finance my author life. So now I've managed to finance at least about the first 6 months of my writing. So that's really cool.
Yeah, it is. So congratulations again to your book, to your move. And I would like to see more about you, of course. We can have another interview once your next book is published also, I suggest.
Yeah, whenever it feels right for you. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Book 2 is coming, actually, should come this autumn, so autumn 2026, or for all my friends in the southern hemisphere, it will be spring. Yes.
I see.
So within the next 3 months, I expect book 2 to be published as well.
Okay, so let's do this again. Thank you for our interview today. And now it's time for your final thought to the audience, please.
My final thought.
Yes.
I think that the message I said earlier about brainstorming with AI, and then I've just translated my book into French, and I noticed it's, even with the help of AI, it's a lot of work and very time consuming, and I will not translate myself into 30 languages. So if anyone feels inspired by what I'm writing, then please get in touch with me, and especially if you speak some language or have some publishing experience and want to see this book in another market. But yeah, I simply need collaborators at some point, because this is potentially a huge project, and I will need assistance from people who can, who love the vision.
Yes, who can relate to that also. Very
Exactly.
inspiring. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This was
Hmm.
my interview with Henrik, and have a nice evening. And of course, I see you in the next episode.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Caroline.